Twitter, and we're here right now on Instagram. What's up? If you're on Instagram over here, do me a favor and follow me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter at Amir Zen Official, please. We are going to be here for a few hours and we are going to be talking about current events. We're going to be finding common ground with each other. And we're going to be checking right now to see if these other streams are working. What's up to my Instagram fam over here? How you all doing? We're going to have a good night streaming. Right now I'm streaming on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. So if you all have any questions, put them in the chat. Let's talk. We're talking current events. There's a presidential debate tonight. So we're going to talk about that a little and see the shit show that ensued. Let's see. We are live on Twitter. We're live on Twitch. We're on YouTube. Hey, y'all. Also, if you have Rumble by any chance, check me out on Rumble at Amir Zen Official. That would be very much appreciated because you need to have a certain amount of followers there to be able to live stream. And I have not hit that amount of followers there. And that number of followers is 5. So if you have a Rumble account, which not that many people do, then please follow me on Rumble, because when I inevitably get blocked from these social media companies for saying one wrong word, please don't erase me. But yeah, say what's up in the chat right now. We are going to get this started. I actually have some really awesome stuff to read you all tonight. Let's see. All right. Hey, how y'all doing? What's up? Hey, we're just getting everybody in the chats right now. Hey, how y'all doing? Good to see you. Hey, if you got any questions, put them in the chat. Let's talk. There was a presidential debate tonight. I want to talk about some cryptocurrency news because I follow cryptocurrency very heavily. If you know me and follow my content over these years. We are also today, I would like to talk about some, plant-based versus animal-based science, lifestyle stuff. And I just want to start reading out this tweet from at Healing Faster. Hey, plant-based friends, are you experiencing bloating, digestive problems, fatigue, brain fog, mood swings, skin problems, muscle wasting, weakness, hair loss, cold intolerance, anemia, osteoporosis, fertility problems? It may be time to consider the carnivore diet, which I highly recommend. And actually, we are going to get this started with some raw milk and raw cream from Raw Farm, which I have. Oh, it's so good. Alex, what's up? Alex says, I am ignorant on politics for real, but does Biden have dementia? Clinically, it seems like Biden has mental degradation problems, whatever the official medical name of that is. But clearly, his mental degradation is to a point where it's on his job. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, what's up? Say what's up in the chat. Let's talk. Let me know what you think about the presidential debate tonight. Let me know what you think about cryptocurrency. We're talking plant-based and animal-based diets, science. We can talk about reversing a lot of age-related symptoms as well tonight, too. Dementia is something that can be combated with lifestyle changes. Drinking raw dairy, which is one of the most nutrient-dense superfoods on the planet, is a great start. I actually drink this sometimes right after my workout or after dinner, and it satisfies my sweet tooth because it's milk and cream. And Milk has sugar in it. So if you got a sweet tooth and you still want to eat something after you've had your red meat and your, animal based dinner or meal, this is a good thing to have, the raw dairy, to help fill you up more, to show you if you even actually need any more food or sweets or anything. Usually, after having this, it will definitely satisfy your cravings. Another thing you can do, you can make ice cream with this. You can make it simply. You can buy an ice cream maker from Amazon, very affordable. So let's see. Alex says, Amir got me on the carnivore diet and I have been feeling the best ever. Yes, it is the best ever. And, it's one of those, the carnivore eating blueprint is one of those things where, unlike when you're plant based, I was plant based for a long time in different varieties of the plant based diet. And a lot of the times you're trying to make yourself believe you feel better than you actually do. But with a carnivore diet, it is just objectively and anecdotally, scientifically, just so awesome. I don't know one person, and I know a lot of people who have transitioned over from plant-based to animal-based lifestyles. I don't know one person who has said, "Oh, it didn't work for me to switch over to an animal fat-based lifestyle over a vegan lifestyle," for example. I usually hear exactly the opposite. And you hear that the people who transition from that plant-based lifestyle over to the animal-based lifestyle, it is something that, for me, it seems to be like it's going to be permanent because there doesn't seem to be a more efficient and superior way for in our current state to gain energy expenditure from food. So let's see. Excited for all these topics you got. Yeah, if you're on the Instagram right now, put your comments in there, your questions. Let's chat. What did you guys all think about the debate tonight? I did not watch the debate because I don't really watch presidential debates, but I see that Vivek is trending on, what is it, Twitter. And that guy definitely knows how to play the social media game. His policies seems like a rebranding of neocon style ideas. Robert says didn't watch either. Yeah, didn't watch either and didn't watch either. All right, let's go. Yeah, usually I would watch it if there was something to watch. I used to watch the debates when Ron Paul was in the debates and things were different because Ron Paul was in the debates. But Trump not being on that stage, it's just pretty much the old guard Republican Party on the debate stage right now. And that old guard Republican Party is what is being replaced in the Republican Party establishment by the Trump people. MAGA is what the mainstream media calls it. I would personally say that there is a shift in the Republican Party, and shout out to me and my friends for helping influence this change through the Ron Paul years. Shout out, y'all. And the thing that has changed from the Republican Party of George Bush's era to the Republican Party today is that it has clearly shifted into a more libertarian base. As a result, the neoconservative base of the previous establishment Republican Party is coming to an end in the mind of the people, but in the mind of the establishment, as you see, they just tried to do a DeSantis. They are doing a DeSantis versus Gavin Newsom presidential debate. Tell us that you are trying to control the 2024 presidential election narrative without telling us. And that's exactly what it is right there. So, hey, what's up, y'all? We got Matt. Bitcoin. Yes, sir. Bitcoin. All right. It says cryptocurrency. So we are going to be chatting about cryptocurrency as well. What's up, y'all? If you're in the chat right now, don't be a lurker. Say what's up. I see we got people in every chat. So, all right. This is actually, wow, look at that. We got a buy actually trending right now too. I did not see that when I said that we were going to talk about cryptocurrency tonight, but that is cool. Let's see why it is trending right now. Well, it's always a good time to buy Bitcoin, but yeah, nothing special. Just people saying buy Bitcoin, and without censorship like we have on specific platforms like Instagram, which actually blocked the hashtag Bitcoin for a long time. I don't know if it's still blocked. On Twitter, things are a little different. So Robert asks, any new updates with mushrooms as nootropics or anti-anxiety? Robert, yeah, there are definitely updates scientifically in the literature. I'm going to take a sip of my salt water right now. I'll give a shout out to reverse osmosis water and Redmond's real salt. If y'all need some good salt, get yourself some Redmond's real salt, which is from a single salt mine in Utah. So you can get yourself essentially American grade pink salt. And by putting the little bit of salt in your water, you are essentially putting electrolytes in your water. And if it's a reverse osmosis water, the water is essentially dead. So you're bringing it back to life with specific compounds binding to it. And there are theories that and science to show that it could potentially absorb better. So the updates with mushrooms, Robert, is oh man, I'm not sold. As far as microdosing things like psilocybin, sure. However, I'm still in a place where both personally, anecdotally from other people, and just from what the research says, I'm not sold on it more than compounds like phytocannabinoids, CBD, THC. Ultimately, my goal is to find compounds that can do what CBD and THC can do. And I can't really find those compounds. So, when I do the mushroom stuff, it's a good experience. The research is supportive, but does it compare to phytocannabinoids as a daily supplement? Nah, I'm not sold. Is it a good thing to use, every once in a while? And I'm assuming you're talking about psilocybin mushrooms. I'm assuming. So if you can clarify what type of mushroom we're talking about, since there are a lot of different kinds of mushrooms. But since you said anti-anxiety, nootropic, I'm assuming that you mean psilocybin or psychedelic mushrooms, because psilocybin isn't the only psychedelic, but it is the primary known psychedelic. Man, so if y'all are on Instagram right here, if you could follow me on other platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, that would be very greatly appreciated. Because I wanna talk about both psilocybin and lion's mane, others. Yeah, psilocybin I just answered. Lion's mane, I am still in the experimental phase of lion's mane mushrooms and fully deciding if I want to have lion's mane in my product line. You don't see it yet. Um, the question that I ask myself is, should I double down on something that I know objectively works at the highest levels, and should I go search and find something else when I could just double down on what I know works objectively and exponentially better? So my mindset right now is, I'm still experimenting with lion's mane. It's I've had really good experiences with it. I'm just trying to see exactly what lion's mane should be for, if that makes sense, and be personally sold on it, which I am. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That's the yeah, we'll see. Further research is required for my full answer. It says Laird's coffee with mushrooms works great. Bring back your CBD coffee. Yeah, the thing about making coffee as well is coffee is a pretty intensive manufacturing operation. So I'd love to bring back the coffee, but I don't have the capabilities for that currently. Um, but these mushroom coffees, for example, I experimented with a lot of mushroom coffees, made my own different mushroom coffees. You do feel something. So, when I'm saying, "Oh, I'm not sold yet," it's not that I don't feel anything. You clearly do. I'm just trying to, fully understand the exact science of what's going on before I decide to sing. And, with lion's mane, for example, there is good research on lion's mane, but there really isn't that much comparatively to a compound like CBD or THC. There's a tiny fraction of the amount that you'd see when you're doing scientific research on CBD and THC. So for that reason, there definitely needs to be more research on why specific mushrooms are so unique. Lion's mane is unique because it has specific compounds in it that aren't really found in other mushrooms. However, a lot of the other functional nootropic style mushrooms, they're the same compounds. They're compounds like beta glucans, and you'll see these different types of mushrooms saying, "Oh, we have beta glucans and it gives it these health benefits," which is arguable that beta glucans actually provide long-term health benefits, but that's for another debate. However, if there were 5 different plants that all gave you CBD, wouldn't you just choose the one plant that gives you the CBD the best? So the way I look at it is, all right, if you all are advertising, okay, this is beneficial because it has beta glucans, this is beneficial because it has beta glucans, then why don't you just figure out the one that has the best level of beta glucans and then go from there instead of making these blended products? So that's my take on the current state of the mushroom world. Man, I was saying I have so many of these things that I wanna read that I just realized when I'm here, I don't know if I can talk. This is why I'm trying to get Rumble, Twitter. Come on over, y'all. Come on over, y'all. This was actually something really awesome I read about what causes revolutions and when does the violence start. Yeah, Robert, I hope that helps out. The like Jake says, because blends are cheaper and easier to hide behind. Yeah, exactly. And as a product formulator, my preferred formulation style, which I would argue has the best outcomes for the formula and for the user experience, is to really simplify as much as possible. And blends oftentimes do not have the absorption rate that single compounds do. And we see this with a new 2023 clinical trial that recently came out that showed CBD isolate by itself worked better than a combination formula that had CBD, CBN, and melatonin in it. And they found that the CBD isolate by itself worked just as well as the CBD isolate plus the multi-ingredient formulations. And that was just one. I think it was 6 different arms that they tested. One was CBD isolate, and they found that the CBD isolate and all the other arms tested were about the same. There were clinically irrelevant differences in the arms tested. So cheers. Gonna finish the rest of this raw milk from Raw Farm. Oh, one of the best. Just drinking a glass of raw milk is just one of the best experiences in life. All right. So I was gonna read about the revolutions. If you guys got any questions, let's chat. If y'all are here, don't be a lurker. Say what's up. I see we got people in this chat. Let's talk about finding common ground together. I am back on the streaming game and on the path to streaming multiple times a week, which I have been doing for the last few weeks. So thank you if you're watching, and thank you for y'all's support. Please give me a follow if you're not already. Like the video. Share my videos with your friends and family if you can, because when I look at my analytics, I get little to no organic reach outside of my following. And I can just assume from what the Twitter files showed that that's because of the layers of censorship that I have on my profile. So if you can share my content with others that you see, that would be very, very helpful. All right, Jake. Well, let's see what you. Let's see. Also, while I'm here, I wanted to get your input on something. What's your take on Delta 8, 9, 10, etc.? Can't get a quality flower or CBD here in Georgia, other than ordering from Specker, of course. All right, so very important question Jake just asked. I am so glad you're asking this question. First of all, the reason that you're even asking this question is because cannabis prohibition still exists. The reason that you see Delta 8 and Delta 10 at your smoke shop in Georgia, but you can't go buy regular Delta 9 THC flower like you would at a dispensary in California is because the people in the cannabis industry are sick and tired of the bullshit of the politicians who cannot figure out how to regulate a plant. It should be regulated the same as corn and soy and tomatoes. It's a plant. Regulate it the same as other plants. It's why is this so hard to figure out? But as a response to continued prohibition, the 2018 farm bill that passed had the hemp legalization in there. In the bill, there's a loophole that the industry found to synthesize different THC variants. So when you go to a smoke shop, when you go and buy it online, anywhere you get it, if it says Delta 8 or Delta 10, and even a lot of Delta 9 now, that means that it was synthesized in a lab, most likely from CBD isolate as the starting material, and they combine that essentially in a chemistry experiment, and then poof comes delta 8 THC or delta 10 THC or delta 9 THC or THCO, you know, or HHC. These are typically coming from CBD isolate. So everything would be better if the politicians didn't treat the cannabis plant like it's the worst thing in the world and again regulated it like corn and tomatoes. It's a plant. Regulate it like you do every other plant. So my recommendation on the synthetic cannabinoids is actually to generally stay away from them. If you're getting synthetic cannabinoids from a CBD store, smoke shop, generally speaking, those synthetic cannabinoids are probably not going to be the best quality if you have natural cannabinoids like natural delta 9 THC and natural CBD as actual references. So it's just unfortunate reality of continued prohibition is that if you want to tell people that they can't have a plant, they're going to figure out how to get what they want. So it's like it's one of those things where it's cool that regulation has been circumvented to where there's essentially THC available all across the country now. You could send it in the mail, buy it in all of these states that supposedly heavily regulate delta 9 THC. So it's dumb in that sense of governments and politicians when they continue this level of stupid prohibition, what they're doing is shooting themselves in the feet because the industry is always going to find ways to get around regulations. So they could just have easy regulations for THC, but as a result, they choose not to. And then as a result, all these people are now selling THC legally under the hemp law because it starts from CBD isolate, and then the hemp says must be under 0.3% delta 9 THC dry weight, and as a result, they found loopholes of the dry weight. So now you can go in Texas or Alabama or any prohibition state, and you can get yourself delta 9 THC gummies, the same as you would get at a dispensary, and it is 0.3% delta 9 THC by dry weight because the amount of THC that's in a big gummy per dry weight is under 0.3% because that's going to be a tiny amount. If you have, 10 milligrams per gummy, it's only a little bit of THC oil. Hey, what's up, y'all? If you're in the chat, say hello, ask your questions. Let's chat. Let's find common ground. I'm going to be here for probably 30 more minutes. And then I am going to go do yoga and breath work because I have done a lot of work today. We are making new Specker products. And if you are watching this right now, please check out my small business, Specker at speckhealth.com, and take the new health assessment that we just launched. It's pretty awesome. It's a personalized health assessment that will guide you to the best specker products for you. All right. So that's my spiel about the different THC isomers that we see today. Also, it's important to note that synthetic cannabinoids, like just any synthetic compound that's made in a lab, generally speaking, is going to have some kind of toxic byproducts that come from it. And that is questionable. And we don't have enough data to show what really happens with long-term use of these new synthetic cannabinoids that are popping up all over the market. All right, let's see. Let's see what I can read. You know, it's funny. I thought I was gonna. All right, so check this out. In 2000 BC, single entry accounting was created through a Sumerian cuneiform describing the receipt of oxen. And then in 70 AD, double entry accounting, which is Roman tabulae rationum, as on one page all the disbursements are entered, on the other page all the receipts. That was in 70 AD. And in 2009 AD, we got triple entry accounting, which is Bitcoin, my friends. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, cryptography, the evolution of money is something that's been happening for thousands of years. And technologies like Bitcoin just really are getting us to the next stage of that, because we will continue evolving in the monetary system. Let's see, man, that is once I get enough of y'all following me on these uncensored platforms, we're gonna have so much more fun. But right now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read this, and then it says a bunch of words that you know, IG might come after me for. But let's see. Gosh, that is so fun. It's so funny because I was gonna a lot of these things on, and then I realized right now as I'm going through them that I have been spending way too much time on the new Twitter, which has a fraction of the censorship that they had before. It is a feeling like the internet in 2007 with the lack of censorship that is happening on Twitter right now. So I'm having all this fun there and saving all these posts, and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to talk about these on the live stream. And then I go through them like, damn, these are really not allowable on other platforms. That is wild how fast things can change, because last year on Twitter, I was getting just as censored as everywhere else, if not more, because I had pretty much zero reach on Twitter. Well, we're going to talk about some history here. And this post is about the 450,000 African slaves were taken from Africa to North America. See, this is some hot takes. We're gonna talk about some hot takes right now. And I love history, and as a student of history, I got my degree from UCLA in history as well. I think it's important to talk about history from the lens of the outside observer and not the lens of the winner. And when you do that, you view things much differently. You also have to do this from a unemotional lens, because when you study history and you allow your biases to take over, you might get a little emotional by the things that you find out. So this is talking about how there were about 450,000 African slaves that were taken from Africa to North America. Meanwhile, about 1.25 million Europeans, English, French, Icelandic, Danes, Dutch, Welsh, were taken from Europe to Africa as slaves. Yes, 1.25 million. Damn, that's crazy. And we don't hear about that in school, right? The women were mainly used as sex slaves or domestic servants, the men as laborers or soldiers, with some undergoing castration and eunuchs. It was considered a sign of prosperity for an Algerian or Turkish leader to have white-skinned eunuchs and female sex slaves. Actually, that's really important because America's first technical war was the Barbary Wars, and that was related to slavery and the African slavers coming after the Americans, actually. So, hey, what's up, y'all? If you're in the chat, say hello. Don't be a lurker. I see we got a handful of people in each stream right now. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? I was just continuing this talk about slave history. I was saying it was considered a sign of prosperity for an Algerian or Turkish leader to have white-skinned eunuchs and female sex slaves. The punishment for these slaves were horrific. Their noses and ears cut off for misbehaving, shackled in chains. In many cases, they were forced to convert to Islam. Their children were taken from them and often faced difficult fate as slaves as well. This post ends with, if you want to talk about reparations, let's start here. Hey, what's up, Bobby? I love you too, man. Thanks for joining the stream. We are talking about some awesome stuff. Join the chat with us. And this is really interesting. I'm learning about this more and more. I first learned about these American and European slaves being taken by Africans because of what I mentioned, the Barbary Wars, which doesn't really have too much information on it when you try to research it. You know, if you go on YouTube and type in Barbary Wars, it's not that expansive compared to the other wars that America has fought, which is really weird because this is such a interesting war, and it is not really one that I would say the United States started and arguably didn't want to fight, but did anyway. The Barbary Wars were a series of 2 wars that were fought by the United States, Sweden, and the Kingdom of Sicily against the Barbary states, including Tunis, Algiers, and Tripoli, which would today be, I guess, modern day Tunisia, Algeria, and Libya. So it's the Barbary slave trade. That was the northern part of Africa. And Morocco, it says. In the early 19th century, Sweden had been at war with the Tripolitans since 1800 and was joined by newly independent U.S. The first Barbary War extended from 1801 to 1805, with the second Barbary War lasting only 3 days, ending on June 19th, 1815, which is actually a pretty awesome history of how it ended. This was that war that showed America as a new baby country can actually hold their own in a military confrontation. So within a few years of becoming a country, declaring independence, having a constitution, creating a foreign policy, creating a military, these things, they went and defeated these Barbary states who were very powerful and very ruthless at that time. So that is the Barbary Wars. Look it up. I actually didn't even know Sicily was part of that war until just right now. And interesting because it seems like Libya was called Tripolitania. So northern Africa. All right. The next thing I want to talk about, since we're talking about politics, we're is, obviously there was a GOP debate tonight. And what does that mean? That means that Republicans are on the stage again and being put on blast, which is always a great time to remind people that the old American right was much more libertarian than the neocons I was talking about earlier in this stream. So this post says Representative Howard Warren of the old right on America's military intervention. Even if it were desirable, America is not strong enough to police the world by military force. If that attempt is made, the blessings of liberty will be replaced by coercion and tyranny at home. Our Christian ideals cannot be exported to other lands by dollars and guns. Persuasion and example are the methods taught. Be the carpenter of Nazareth, and if we believe in Christianity, we should try to advance our ideals by his methods. We cannot practice might and force abroad and retain freedom at home. We cannot talk world cooperation and practice power politics. So the old American right, and a really good book is Reclaiming the American Right by Justin Raimundo, which is a great history on this exact topic of what the old American right was all about, how it was co-opted, and that is the awesome thing that I see happening with the Republican Party today, is that it is now moving back towards the old right ideas. So that's pretty cool. And we just have to keep pushing the Overton window so that that changes, because this is some bullshit. And now, as we're actually seeing, Karl Rove, chief neocon, if y'all remember, came out, and now he is, talking about how he likes what the Democrats are saying. So what it shows is that the neocon wing of the Republican Party generally just should be in the Democratic Party, because that's where their views align more than the traditional American right. Fun facts for y'all. I'm gonna shift gears here real quick. I'm gonna take some Specker Energy, which is one of my new favorite products that I formulated. Has a peppermint essential oil, low dose CBD isolate, and MCT oil. All right, let's see. So shifting gears here. Hey, if you're in the chat right now, say what's up. I'm gonna be here for a little longer. We're talking about cholesterol right now. You've been lied to about heart disease and cholesterol, y'all. People say cholesterol is bad. Cholesterol causes heart disease. Be careful of eating too many eggs. These are all lies. The first thing is that cholesterol is just one molecule. Before we continue, remember that. One molecule, a single molecule. And we need cholesterol not only to survive, but to thrive. Here are the three main reasons. And shout out to Brett Bocher on Twitter for this post. One is hormonal regulation. Cholesterol is the precursor for various important hormones like cortisol, estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. Without cholesterol, these systems can't function properly. Vitamin D synthesis. Cholesterol is the building block for vitamin D production. You can supplement vitamin D and get all the sunlight you want, but without healthy amounts of cholesterol, your body won't produce as much vitamin D as it could. Every cell membrane in your body is made up of cholesterol. Neurological functioning. Cholesterol is abundant in the brain. It supports the formation of nerve cells and is essential for regulating the nervous system. It also maintains synapses between brain cells, crucial for memory, learning, and overall cognition. Now you understand why cholesterol is essential for our survival and vitality. But now let's dive into the three biggest objections or questions people have about cholesterol, Brett says. One, is there a difference between good and bad cholesterol? We've been taught that HDL is good and LDL is bad, but it's not that simple. Both play key roles in cholesterol regulation. HDL transports it to the liver, LDL brings it to the blood. So, what are we missing? The mainstream narrative is that excess LDL, which is bad cholesterol, can lead to the buildup of plaque in the arteries. It's easy to then build a very lucrative pharmaceutical industry. The most profitable drug ever is a statin on the fear of cholesterol. But this is leaving out one important factor in the buildup: oxidation. LDL and HDL are simply vehicles. They move back and forth. When they become oxidized, they are slowed, damaged, or destroyed. Now we have a traffic jam. And to make matters worse, these vehicles are on fire and toxic, causing inflammation. Your body responds, forming a plaque. Okay, so I want to stop right there to explain what LDL and HDL even are. They are not the cholesterol molecule. There's high density lipoprotein and low density lipoprotein. They're transport molecules. So they work as molecules that give rides to other compounds. In this case, cholesterol can hitch a ride on these lipoproteins. And there can be problems with these transport molecules. It's funny because I have never heard people talk about that in this regards that I just brought it up in. So these transport molecules essentially have a life of their own as well. So that's where the problem arises if they become damaged or destroyed from your shitty lifestyle. It says, so what's really causing this oxidation? Plaque formation and heart attacks. It's not cholesterol. It's the modern diet. Heart disease continues to go up year after year. You know what else does? Obesity rates and processed food consumption. Both drive up blood sugar and increase oxidation. Excess sugar in the blood is stored as triglycerides, which is just a fancy way to say fat. One of the best indicators of heart health is the triglyceride to HDL ratio. If you generally have less oxidative sugar stored as fat and more carriers back to the liver, it's a recipe for longevity. So, how can I lower my risk of heart disease? Exercise regularly and achieve a healthy body fat percentage. Stabilize blood sugar and blood pressure. Eat healthy fats like fish, eggs, quality meats. I'm not going to read, I'm going to say everything you're saying, but I don't agree with this. Incorporate fiber into your diets from fruits and veggies for HDL production. I don't agree with that. Fiber is an anti-nutrient. I think you should minimize it as much as possible in your diet, especially if you're trying to seek a new level of optimal health and you're trying to figure out how to get there. Might be a good idea to minimize the fiber heavily and see where that gets you. And it says, most importantly, minimize foods that include sugary sweets and beverages. And I got to say, the majority of the other healthy fats, he also says olive oil and avocados, which if you got to eat plants for your healthy fats, sure. But olive oil and avocados are not a replacement for the essential fatty acids that you get from quality meats, eggs, and fish and other animal products. So it says, and then it continues, it says, most importantly, minimize foods that include sugary sweets and beverages, highly processed foods, vegetables and seed oils, fried foods. This diet plus a sedentary lifestyle equals a recipe for disaster. Conclusion, cholesterol is not inherently bad. It's a necessary building block of many functions of the human body. The key is to limit processed foods that damage and break down our cholesterol. And what foods damage and break down our cholesterol? Well, he says processed foods, but I would say a lot of plant-based foods can damage and break down your cholesterol, processed foods being some of them. So, this is why I implore people to just learn more science, biology, chemistry, so that you can really understand this kind of stuff yourself. Because when I really learned what all these words meant, it started becoming a lot easier to understand. For example, when I learned about lipoproteins, for example, when I learned about like fats and proteins, essential or fatty acids, amino acids, then you hear the word lipoprotein, and then I was like, high density lipoprotein, that's not cholesterol. So why are they saying that's good cholesterol and that's bad cholesterol? And these transport molecules, by the way, are all over your body. These two transport molecules are just the two that we know about, right? But THC, CBD, these have transport molecules as well that give them rides to the location that they need to go to, the receptor sites that they need to go to in order to do what you're eating the thing for, Um but yeah, that's obviously it goes a little more in depth. I'm just trying to simplify it as much as possible. Um and like I was saying earlier, I don't even know if enough people understand the role of transport molecules and how transport molecules really have a life of their own, and they have their own health benefits, and they could cause health problems as well. We see this in the endocannabinoid system, like I was saying with THC and CBD. There are these transport molecules, like fatty. Actually, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna bring these up for because if you ever ask yourself, how does THC actually work? How does CBD actually work in my body? Uh, because without the transport molecules in your body working, then you can't even have these compound. They won't go anywhere. The transport molecules have to like the driver has to be there with the car, kind of thing. Um, so all right. That's on cholesterol. Man, it is almost 11 p.m. here right now. I am streaming now multiple times a week. I'm going to be here streaming until there are millions of people here. And we're still going to be talking about the same stuff when there are. There's just going to be a lot more of us in here. And that's going to happen very soon. So if you're here right now, thank you. Watch what happens in the next few months. It's going to be a legend. Wait for it, dairy. So let's go into the next. Hey, what's up, y'all? If you're here right now, thank you for joining the chat. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We always put Instagram on the side over here, even though the platform will not let me connect into my streaming platform to make it one. So shout out Instagram for making life very difficult as always. Woke up with a demonetized post. I don't know why. I think my tone might have sounded a little mean. Actually just saw this picture that has these Honeycrisp, organic Honeycrisp apples, $4.99 a pound. And then next to them, there are these grass-fed steaks for $4.99 a pound. So if you are ever looking for really affordable grass-fed meat, check out places like Grocery Outlet because they have really surprisingly affordable grass-fed meats, and a lot of the times they're local, which is pretty awesome. So if you're looking for a real good deal, if you're on a budget and you still want to be eating red meat and keeping it high quality and not, feedlot and actually having grass fed, we have grass finished, then check out Grocery Outlet or places like it. All right. So this is this next post. This is by at Juliana Lung. It's about coffee. Really liked it because I'm a coffee drinker myself, and I know a lot of you are. Coffee drinkers have a lower incidence of thyroid disease, including cancer, than non-drinkers. And I'm going to tell you all my theory on why this actually happens. But here's the science. Caffeine protects against cancer caused by radiation, chemical carcinogens, viruses, and estrogens. Coffee drinkers have been found to have lower cadmium in tissues. Coffee making removes heavy metals from water. Coffee inhibits iron absorption if taken with meals, helping to prevent iron overload. That's not the best thing. So, it's funny because when you are in the health world, there are oftentimes these statements that are designed in a way to be positive, and then you read it, it's like coffee inhibits iron absorption. Coffee blocks essential nutrient from absorbing, helping to prevent from iron overload. Because if you're having a shitty ass plant-based fortified synthetic nutrient, might be overloaded on synthetic nutrients. But all right, now that's actually one of the things I was going to get to is about essential nutrient blocking that coffee does and how it can remove certain essential nutrients. But caffeine, like niacin, inhibits apoptosis, protecting against stress-induced cell death without interfering with normal cell turnover. Protecting against stress-induced cell death. So inhibits apoptosis, and then she says what apoptosis is. Coffee provides very significant quantities of magnesium. Cool. It also removes those essential nutrients as well as other nutrients, including B1. And this is by Raymond P. PhD from caffeine, a vitamin-like nutrient or adaptogen. I do not agree that caffeine is a vitamin-like nutrient. Adaptogen more so. A vitamin-like nutrient, questionable. However, research does show if you are a coffee drinker, you have longer life on average. And I would say that when you're drinking coffee, it is such a intense drug that you're just really wired, And when you're really wired, it's a lot easier to win at life. If you're, like fully, like when you drink coffee compared to when you don't, for the average person, I can get myself just as hyped up with or without coffee. But coffee definitely makes it easier at times. So there's a little fun fact for y'all about coffee. I love researching coffee. Always in the middle about coffee, though, in that, you should really always go for the highest quality coffee that you can find. You should find companies that you can talk to and learn about their processes, because you can get really good coffee or really shitty coffee. It's just like anything. So look at your coffee like, if you enjoy high quality cannabis and you source high quality cannabis in your own specific ways, use the same mindset for coffee. Oh man, I am on the next stream. I am going to connect this in. All right, so this study right here, it's called increased lipid peroxidation and impaired antioxidant enzyme function is associated with pathological liver injury and experimental alcoholic liver disease in rats fed diets high in corn oil and fish oil. So it says studies show that alcohol only causes liver damage when consumed with unsaturated fats like corn oil or fish oil. When alcohol is consumed with saturated fats, there's no liver damage. Seed oils are making us more susceptible to every health issue, Carnivore Aurelius says in this post. It's important to note that this study talks about fish oil as well. So if you're taking fish oil supplements and you think you're being healthy, most likely that fish oil supplement is rancid and oxidized, and it is probably not doing what you think it does. And as research like this shows, it could potentially be doing the opposite. So what this is saying is, stick with your red meat. So here's another UV light does not cause cancer. Seed oils do. This is a study here called The Effects of Dietary Lipid on UV Light Carcinogenesis in the Hairless Mouse. It says mice who were fed corn oil got skin cancer from UV light exposure. Those fed saturated fat in its place were completely protected from cancer. Saturated fats plus sunlight equals health. Wait a minute. Are these the same? Checking if those are the same studies. No. All right. Oh man, I want to show you all this one. Okay. So if y'all are here right now, let's see how long I've been streaming. I am gonna head out because I've been here for an hour. If you are here, say what's up. What about fermented fish oils? Oh, hey, fermented fish oil. Fermented fish oil. Fermented fish oil. No. Hey, what's up, Desi Beatnik? Personally, I would stay away from these fish oil supplements and just go get real fish. And also look into the ways that fish oil is manufactured. Just the start to finish of that process might be enough to have you just go and get the actual fish yourself. Unfortunately, when you go and look at the fishing manufacturing process of the fish just by themselves, that's pretty fucked up as well. So, if you can fish it by yourself in a clean body of water, which might be a rare occurrence for most people, then that would be that would be ideal. But generally speaking, if you're trying to get omega-3 fatty acids, getting it from a processed supplement is not going to be the most efficient place you can get it from when you can get it more efficiently from these food sources and less rancid and oxidized. So that's a real important point as well. Let's see. So if anybody has any questions, please ask them in the chat. I'm going to be here for a few more minutes. We're going to be talking about some more health stuff. Actually, there was this thing that I read. Let me pull it up. So, okay, it says if you get fish burps, it could be rancid. So if you're taking these fish oil type supplements and then you burp up really gross Taste? Well, what this is saying is that that is your sign that it is rancid. And one of the comments here, it says fish oil and unrefrigerated permeable gel caps should always be assumed to be rancid. Best to not take them. Further, no amount of supplementary omega-3 will fix the real problems. Logically excessive omega-6 ingestion from seed oils like canola and soybean. Uh, to add on to that point, this strengthens my argument for having an animal-based diet because so many animal foods have these perfect macro ratios where a lot of them have these really perfect omega-3 to 6 ratios, whereas shit, most of these plant foods, the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is astronomically. It is not healthy. I would say we should be aiming for a 1-to-1 omega-3 to omega-6 diet, and that does not count taking omega-3 supplements. That means food. So these are real important points about, having seed oils in so many things that are consumed as food today because it's a cheap ingredient and it works for the desired purposes that they are looking for, which is it's cheap and it's cheap. That's bottom line. This is corporate America kind of thing. So really, a lot of these problems in the market are just incentive based. So if we could change the incentives, if we can get other ingredients to be just as affordable, a lot of these companies don't have an evil vendetta to be using a specific ingredient. They use a specific ingredient because that's the most affordable one around. The research shows that it does this and this. So we just need to educate and incentivize the shift. So we will end this one off with, it's so funny. I scroll. It's like topic that's not allowed on Instagram or YouTube, or topic that's not allowed, topic that's not allowed, topic that's not allowed, topic like in between all of these, I found these, like I'd say I go through 10 posts and then I'll find one that I've saved that I can read on these other platforms. So if you are watching right now, thank you so much for watching tonight. Please share my content with your friends and family. Check out Specker, which is my company and me putting my wildest dreams into reality in a business model. You could check us out at speckerhealth.com. And please like these videos, subscribe, and as always, go be healthy. Make sure you're doing your breath work. Make sure you're minimizing artificial light and maximizing natural light as much as possible. Go get as much silence as you can. Go meditate, do your yoga, exercise, stretch as much as possible. Go be with your loved ones. Talk to people. Tell them how much you love them. Go spread the world and spread kindness to yourself. So that all being said, I will definitely be back in the very near future. So if you're here right now, again, thank you. I love you. And I'll see you very soon. Peace and love.